This video is brought to you by Nokian Tires, a leader in safety and sustainability. Maximize performance and efficiency with their made in USA all-season tires and their dedicated Hakkapeliitta EV winter line from the inventor of the winter tire. Learn more at nokiantire.com/EV. This video is also brought to you by Magna, forward for all. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to one of the coolest charging hubs I've ever been to. You and I always say this, we've been around the world together looking at the coolest and craziest charging stations ever. This is an entirely different take on charging that I've never seen before. This is what I'm going to call a boutique charging experience. My friend JT, Franklin's Charging here in Little Rock, Arkansas, built this site because he is a fan of future tech, electric vehicles, vertical farming, sustainability, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna build my own charging hub and try and make a profitable business. And he is well on his way to doing that. And so I'm really able to share with you for the first time here on YouTube, Franklin's Charging in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is one of two locations. They have their own little hub over here. They have AC and DC charging. They have vertical farming. They have an art studio. It's really an amazing place, and it's all done by this guy, his friends, and his family. And I think you guys are going to absolutely love this and have huge respect for the ingenuity and, honestly, the amount of work that he's put into this site and all of the future ones. So join me as I am just so impressed with what I'm about to show you, and let's go on a full tour of Franklin's Charging here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Just as a warning, the audio in this video sucks. There's no other way of putting it. We used microphones. You'll see me holding mics. Apparently they just were never connected into my phone, the camera. And so I really want to apologize. We did the best we could with audio levels, but I'm going to sound really loud. My friend JT is going to sound a little bit quieter, but it's as maxed as we could get it dialed in. And yeah, really want to apologize for the audio. The video is still very much worth a watch because it's just awesome. But yeah, I dropped the ball on the audio this clip. Hopefully you guys can forgive me and still enjoy this video because it's just epic. Join me now. Let's go and go on a full tour of Franklin's Charging. Well, you joined me over here with my friend JT. How's it going, Jeffrey?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me over at your charging hub. And we hadn't planned to shoot a video, but I got here and I was like, we have to film this.
Absolutely. Love to see you here.
So tell me first a little bit about why you have decided to build a charging hub and vertical farming and everything all at this location.
We wanted to be part of the new technologies that are sustainable for all of us. And so this was an avenue that we saw to be able to do that and hopefully make profitable over time, of course.
Right. Well, I definitely want to talk about that. Now, of course, I rolled up here with my Rivian. I'm driving from Colorado to, I don't even know, Memphis is the next stop. So this is actually probably my last stop before Memphis. If I do a pretty deep charge, it'll take a while to shoot this video and do a tour. And I'm just noticing on the hardware selection, but also the location to the highway, that's where we should probably start. You're literally on the highway.
If you're coming through the center of Little Rock, then you come down 630, I-630.
Yep.
We are literally right off of I-630 and right across the street from an electric substation, which helps to know that we will have power available.
That's right. So my understanding is, well, actually, maybe you can explain better. Did you select this location just because of the proximity to the highway, or did it start for a totally different reason?
May have had access to this location because of other reasons to begin with, and then it just turned out to be a great location for this application.
Right, and you've had interest in electric cars for a while. You actually, I can see the other side of my car is your Tesla Model 3. Is it a performance? Looks good?
Yes, absolutely.
Nice, hell yeah, that's awesome. So you were like, okay, I've got an electric car. I want to put in some chargers right next to the highway. How did that all start?
Well, I mean, we saw Tesla come to market in 2011, I believe, when they had their IPO, and thought, you know, if they can make it, then this thing is going to be everywhere. Electric vehicles are going to be the thing. So how do we get involved? and we thought, I mean, my thought was, how do you take solar and battery backups and try and charge cars with them? Now, we aren't doing that 100% here in practical applications, but that was the original exercise, is to try to figure that out. And so, in putting myself through night school while I was a teacher, we were like, okay, well, let's concentrate on how we do. Let's make a business plan to do that.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the incantation that we ended up with.
So Franklin's Charging this was the first location, right?
That's correct, yes.
So there's a second location.
In Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas, yes.
We will have to get that on video at some point as well. That'd be so cool.
Building station built in the 30s that's reapplied to now charging.
That sounds epic. And can you tell me a little bit, ripping it, not the electric lifestyle.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, that's it. Welcome to Arkansas. So you got how much solar up here on the roof?
There is a 30 kilowatt solar system that this canopy holds up. Effective with our inverters, we're at about 26 kilowatts.
Very cool. And so did the chargers come first or did the canopy come first?
It was all packaged. The canopy went up first and then the chargers came in. We were built out.
And the photos that I saw on Twitter, I'm trying to think, months and months ago, maybe even a year plus ago, were just the ChargePoint units originally.
That's correct, yes.
And so how did that work? Why did you select these? I mean, one of the benefits that I think about ChargePoint is an individual can just easily have a service to drop them in, service them in, and, you know, yeah. What was, why the CPE 250s?
Through the research that I did, I just kept coming back to ChargePoint as being really solid. That they had integrated software and hardware, and that they were just really solid units. And come to find out, that is the case.
Okay, good to hear. So you're pleased with these. I mean, I would say the only thing that I don't like about the CPE 250s are just the 200 amp maximum output.
That and the fact that even paired together, we can only get about 125 on our kilowatts, even with the best of the Hyundais or the Kias that are allowed to take that with 800. So
yeah. Yeah.
So that's the biggest drawback with those. We love the Express Plus, but then we have to talk about demand charges and paying an electric bill.
Yeah, so we got to definitely think about, I definitely want to pick your brain about demand charges. But just recently, how long ago actually did the FreeWire unit come in?
The FreeWire, I believe that we finally got that activated in May.
Okay, and this is the Boost 200.
This is the Boost 200 unit, yes.
Okay, so that's one of their newer units.
That's correct.
And just my experience so far with it rolling up has been a little buggy. It's not to say it didn't work. It worked. I plugged in first try. I tapped my card. We were good to go. This is the only problem on this one. It's just the 73 kilowatt max. But is that just a Rivian thing, or do you think other cars were having that limitation with it?
Well, I'm here pretty much daily. And try to get here for as many sessions as I can possibly witness. It's been on and off, man.
Yeah.
It's a little buggy for different OEMs. I should be ripping this at 150 for you right now.
Right, absolutely. Yep.
And you know, you're only getting one side of the machine functioning. I don't know if that's a contactor or the software associated with, or what it might be. We've been through the business with FreeWire. Love them. They're so great customer service wise. I love the concept of the machine. But we have had some trouble with the internal battery then recharging after people will use the unit.
Okay.
So having to reset the unit to be able to get it to function properly.
Yeah, we should, dig into this a little bit more for sure. You guys know, I know the guys at FreeWire really well. And there's already some improvements I'm noticing. By the way, this is the first time I've ever seen it show the charger battery. When I first rolled up, it showed 81% state of charge inside the unit. Of course, how much power actually do you have this hooked up to the grid?
This should give the 37 kilowatts continuous.
Okay, so 37 in, and so it's got a 160 kilowatt hour battery pack or something like that, right? And then, so it's doing 72, 73 kilowatt output, about half as much as it should be doing. So we got to do a podcast or something with the FreeWire guys to see what's going on with that, because
we're sticking with them. We want to use their equipment for any and all scaling that we do because of the internal battery. I mean, because of the grid and what we can do to mitigate effect on the grid and our demand charges. It's just a matter of getting the bugs out.
So what was the rationale? Of course, you already had these two chargers here. Why did you want to add another one? Was it capacity? Was it you wanted to service more power? What was the reason to upgrade this one?
Capacity, and then we definitely wanted to be able to get cars charged a lot quicker.
Okay, yep.
That's, when it's first come, first served with the CB250s. So if you have somebody plugged up with a Mach-E that's pulling 75 kilowatts, somebody else comes and plugs in, then they get 30 kilowatts.
Right, wow, yeah.
Which is not
ideal. Yeah, not ideal at all. So just I really love the idea of FreeWire. We've done a lot of videos with them. Definitely seems like some bugs still left to get worked out, at least on this particular unit, no question. Okay, so equipment aside, I mean, at the Little Rock, or we're in Little Rock, what's the other site again? Hot Springs. What chargers do you have at that location?
We have a canopy there also at an old filling station, and under that solar canopy, we have, in lieu of the old 2 gas pumps, we have 2 CP250s.
Oh, cool. Okay, nice. Love it. And that one's been working out just fine for you then?
CP250s are solid.
Yeah, they're not the fastest, but they're just reliable. Yeah, that's been my impression of using them, these units out in the public. And do you think you would upgrade to the Express Plus at some point, or is it really just the power draw that hurts you?
I mean, it depends on if we can mitigate some of the demand with maybe a larger battery.
Sure, like a site-level battery. Yeah.
Or both would really be nice.
Let's hold that thought. Let's continue. I want to go through the numbers because I want to give a little bit of insight to our audience, but we haven't shown the rest of the site yet. So you have a windshield washing station, which is great, and a trash can. You have an OG Model 3 over here. Love to see those.
It's mom's.
Yeah, that's awesome.
10,000 miles.
Amazing. Yeah, just cruising around. And then you've got an air filling pump over here.
And
Did you research the air pump and vacuum? Are there a bunch of options?
There were a few options. These guys seem really solid. They've worked out to be really solid. And so that's a little stalwart. That little sucker stays busy.
Okay, very cool. Love to see that. And then you have a Tesla wall connector right over here. How many amps is this one hooked up to?
I believe we're full 48 on that.
48 on this one.
Sure. So back behind the Tesla destination, the air station, we are working on curating a tiny forest by what's called the Milwaukee method, as best as we can approximate it, if you'd like to look that up. We have our patio, which would be our bread and butter as soon as we get all of our over-the-counter operations kind of streamlined here. This is our farm on the backside of that big house.
So you have a vertical farm in a container over there.
Yeah.
Super cool. Will we be able to go in there and check that out?
I don't see why not.
Awesome.
We don't want to carry anything in with us, but we're on concrete. We should be okay.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. And so how would EV drivers, I guess, know that you would have access to this building or things like that?
So that's one of the things that, number one, I need to update my website. I'm not the techiest guy in the world, and I'm not on the computer all the time. I'm moving.
Yep.
So I need to update the website and give a little bit more information, but you'll find on there that we do have contact information on the door here and on the window in Hot Springs. For Tesla chargers, or Tesla adapters, I'm sorry. We have CHAdeMO and CCS adapters available at both locations. And then we also have keyless entry for our bathrooms at both locations. And a vending machine here. We, of course, want to add a vending machine in Hot Springs, but we're getting there.
So with this location, was this building already here like this when you guys got it?
These were 3 greenfield lots.
Wow.
Zone residential. We went through the whole shebang of rezoning.
Wow, amazing. So how was it working with the city of Little Rock? Were they cool with it?
The city of Little Rock was pretty darn cool to work with, seemingly. For us, anyhow, they were very open to helping us get this rezoned while saying that this was the last property on this side of Woodrow, which is a main thoroughfare here, that they were going to let go commercial.
Okay, so you got the spot.
I got the spot.
And it's a perfect proximity to, of course, a substation where you have unlimited power, but also the concern of demand charge. We want to talk about that. And so you built this, I guess, hub, if you will. What do you actually call it?
I mean, it may not be appropriate for all audiences, but this is kind of our sit and chin.
I like it. That's awesome.
And we're trying to get into a coffee shop and then hopefully a little happy hour spot eventually down the road. So
hell yes.
One thing at a time.
Love it. Before we go inside, I just want to show the viewers actually the adapters, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because I think that's also one of those things that you get because you're EV drivers hosting EV charging. You understand what an EV driver has to go through, and not every old EV driver is seasoned, has all the adapters, all those things. So you actually carry them for them.
That's right. So keyless entry again. I will not show you my code. But we do have the code available via contact on the door.
Yep.
Have the Chatamo and the CCS available.
Right.
We also have Electron adapter for the Tesla destination in case of emergencies.
Yeah, right. Just in case the DC goes down for whatever reason, or honestly, I own some cars that don't even have DC charging. And so it's just nice to have an AC charging port when you have the power available. Really loving the patio space out here. And so in the future, the plan is when you're selling food items, locally grown things, you can come and enjoy them while your car's charging.
That's right. And we also have a NEMA 1450 out here for food trucks.
Oh, cool.
To come pull up and sell their wares as well.
Awesome. And you've done some events at this location, right?
We've done some events. We've hosted a food truck on Fridays for a while, and we're just trying to get the feel of what's a good long-term strategy here to put all those together on the same site.
This is super duper neat. Let's run inside. Let's see what's going on. And yeah, just can't believe this boutique approach to charging. I've truly never really seen anything like it before. And this is Lulu, right?
This is Lulu the dog.
Hey, Lulu. How you doing, sweet girl? We only want to charge when Lulu's here. Hey, guys. Doing well. Maybe you can introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do here.
Okay. Well, my name is Melinda, and I'm the mom. And I do a coffee bar, especially on Mondays with Millie. So come have coffee with me on Mondays. And I do a little trash and recycling, whatever.
Amazing. So you're here every Monday morning serving coffee. I've just had some. Thank you so much. And I can see you have some items for sale back here, some pottery. Can you share a little bit about that?
We do. We do have pottery. These are obviously coffee mugs, but you can see here there are also some other items. And so my daughter-in-law has a little studio right next door, and so you can also shop while you're here.
That is amazing. And so is it starting to get busier now that people are finding out about Franklin's charging and all of these things? What's your impression of the traffic?
So it is better, but we could be busier. So come see us.
That's right. For any of the viewers in the, I guess you wouldn't call this the Southeast. It would just be the South.
Well, we're in the Southeast. We're officially in the Southeast, but yeah, it's the South for sure.
Yeah, well, come definitely and check this out. But when you're not here, just as an example, there's also a vending machine over here. And noticing the pricing is really inexpensive on a lot of these things. What's why are they so cheap? What's the idea?
So kind of an overall strategy. If we're going to be a boutique player in the charging industry, and we're in Walmart land, we thought Sam was a cost leader. Maybe we can try and put our incantation of being a cost leader with charging and our ancillary revenue streams all the same and try to attract people that way, which seems to be working a little bit so far.
Great to hear. And this indoor area is also open 24/7 when you have the code, correct?
That's correct.
And the restrooms are right here?
Two ADA restrooms at this location.
Ah, great.
Again, available.
We have filmed quite a few charging station bathrooms on this channel. So there we go.
You got to give a shout out to our office manager.
Yeah, let's say hello. What's your name?
Martha, and I'm the grandmother, and I'm also the cleaning lady and the sweeper and the help JT load the machine and whatever else.
That is amazing. So you really are the one who does it all around here then.
And she's legit our office manager.
Okay, amazing. Truly the office manager. Well, it was really great to meet you. Did you ever think you would get into electric car charging business at all?
Absolutely not. After teaching school for 40 years, I thought I was retired.
That's amazing. So now you and Lulu, I guess, are rocking out, keeping this place running.
Absolutely, and you're welcome. And everyone who has come through from other states love it. So come try us.
Amazing. Thank you. And definitely will be back as much as possible. And I will make every detour possible to come check this place out. It's so cool. So I know you guys do more than just charging.
On this specific site, so we have these 3 city lots that we've developed. We have the charging, we have the indoor facility here, and then we have a turnkey indoor hydroponic garden next door to this. And then, of course, you move over one more lot, and we have a art studio. It's a co-op between 5 different ladies right now that make everything from cardstock to pottery to metal jewelry.
Amazing. So we'll definitely be able to check that out, right, for
Absolutely.
this video. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So I think we should probably end the video talking about the nerd stuff on the charging, the power, the demand charges. Can we go check out the vertical farm?
Yeah.
All right, let's go do it.
Cool. And could we interest you in the Franklin's charging hat?
Yes, I will definitely grab the charging hat. I want to pay for it too.
These are options.
I'll go for the gray one here. So save me that one. And let me buy it. I want to support Franklin's charging, so that'll be great. Yeah, we're gonna go cruise.
Have fun at the garden.
Thanks.
It's very nice.
It's super cool.
Super cool. That is, so you got the family involved, you got friends involved.
It's a family affair for sure. Between here and Hot Springs, and we have deliveries to make for our produce in Hot Springs as well. So to be able to do all that and juggle all that with running a small business yourself, we have to have as many people involved as possible and try to keep the overhead low. So sure, why not family? Because
we love it.
They weren't cheap.
That's right. That's great. So in here, we are in basically the coolest shipping container I've ever been in. And this is well, you were telling me a little bit earlier off camera, this is a solution provided by a Massachusetts-based company, is that correct?
That's right. The company's name is Freight Farms, and they offer a turnkey solution for indoor hydroponic farming. They even offer their own solutions, or their own, I should say, oh God, what am I thinking of here? Give me a word.
Seeds.
No, these are nutrients.
Bottles.
There we go, nutrients. How about
Okay.
nutrients?
I wasn't thinking nutrients when I was looking at that bottle.
So their own nutrient packages as well. So it's really kind of a turnkey plug-and-play kind of thing. Now, there's definitely a learning curve to be had. We found that out very quickly, and I have a little bit of a biology background, and so I was like, gung-ho coming into it, and then realized that, well, plants are a little finicky, especially when it gets into the pH and the temperature and everything that could go wrong. It's Murphy's Law when you get into something that's new like this.
Right.
And so it really took us about a year to streamline our operations in here.
Can we, can you tell me a little bit about what you're growing, how the system works? Because I think one of the cool things about this site is obviously charging, and we are going to talk about it, but charging isn't necessarily the best way to go out and make a lot of money. So when you're building a site, you need to find ways to, I would say, generate revenue with that land that you already have allocated. So you're doing a really cool sort of future-focused way of localized vertical farming, and it's something I've heard about, been interested in, but I want the down low. What's the reality of this? Is it worthwhile putting at a charging site? All that good stuff.
So, everything is kind of a function of pricing. So traffic and pricing on your charging site, and then customers and pricing on this side of it. So right now we are distributing to local restaurants here in Hot Springs. We are about to start a retail business out of this as well, over the countertop that you guys just saw.
So you can pull up and charge and then get food that was grown on site.
Pull up and charge. We won't be able to sell full meals out of that, which is where the kind of food trucks come into play.
Okay.
So that we will just have prepackaged produce that you can also buy here over the counter. Of course, prepackaged foods as well. We can do that as long as they're made in a commercial kitchen. That's kind of the rule.
Okay, interesting.
So, again, some of this doesn't look ideal right now because we flipped this over, and then these guys need a little nutrient boost right now. It's looking like so. We've got sage at the end that you saw. This is This is our bread and butter, really. This is our basil, and then romaine. We don't make a really big margin on romaine at all. But this is kind of my baby because of the water out west, right? I mean, Colorado River. I mean, you're looking at the valleys in California, and where are you bringing that water from? Is that Lake Tahoe? I don't know.
Right, sure.
So we're trying to mitigate as much as we can on our end the demand for those field-grown things that are using water from other areas.
So how much less water does a solution like this use compared to traditional farming?
So Freight Farms touts this farm as using about 5 gallons of water a day.
Only 5 gallons a day.
That's right.
So way less than a shower.
Right. And they also touted about 2.4 acres worth of capacity. I think in reality, where we are with mature plants anyway, not including the seedling table at any one point in time, probably closer to about an acre and a half.
But one shipping container. So how many of these could you fit on an acre?
Oh, God.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
And so just the I guess the capacity increase for land use seems so much better with this solution.
Yes. I mean, in your neighborhood, Boulder area, Kimball Musk has, one of these facilities with his containers.
Okay.
That they've outfitted, and I think he's got like 8 stacked or something.
Oh,
so
wow.
like
I didn't even
4
know
down,
that.
4 up.
That's cool.
And doing kind of the same thing.
Neat.
So yeah, pretty. I mean, we don't feel like copycats, but we're definitely not the first ones to figure out that you can do something like this, as evidenced by a company that actually sells a turnkey system.
But what I really love is just like you've kind of implemented your passions or the things you're interested in into this one spot. So you have charging, you have coffee, you have pottery, art and pottery, I should say, and now vertical farming with some biology.
Sciences, right? It's a big science experiment.
It's so cool.
So
I've never seen anything like this, because maybe our viewers don't get the impression, but you will know because you've been in this world. Like, individuals don't host charging. Like, that's just not really a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone freaked out when we got our own DC charger. Meanwhile, you've had way more DC chargers than just us.
We've been working on it for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I am so impressed and just so blown away because, the folks that are putting in charging, we're talking about, BP oil, and we're talking about Circle K convenience stores,
We're
not
talking about
JT.
Shell that's been, in the charging business in Europe anyway since 2016.
Right, yep.
So, I mean, yeah, we're one of the few that I know of, if not the only that I know of, that are going to be an independent operator that's sadistic enough to do something like this.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. What a cool experiment, and what a cool place. And honestly, it's not your only hub. You're already multi-location now. So I have to ask, how much power? So you mentioned about 5 gallons of water a day. Can we show what it's like when we put the grow lights on? Is that possible?
Sure. So we will actually separate these LED panels, and these are all low voltage LEDs, just red, blue lights.
Okay.
That are operating with the watering system that obviously has nutrients in it to help the plants grow. But let's see here. Look at that guy. Let's go to auto. Let's turn this off. It's an automatic.
Whoa.
Give it just a second and on a pop-up both. But it's an automatic cycle that works with the watering as well. So about every 45 minutes, you have 5 minutes of watering that goes on while these stay on for, I believe that's a 16-hour cycle on these guys.
Whoa, that is pretty wild. And so the peak power draw of this you mentioned was about 7 kilowatts?
7.5 kilowatts, I believe. I could be off on that again. Don't quote me, because
Sure.
I'm not an electrician and I'm not an engineer. I just try to pay attention, and I know you guys geek out on data, and I do too.
Yeah.
We're in the South. I'm just a little slower to get to that part of it.
Love it.
Let's build it, and then we'll figure it out, right? That kind of thing.
But in theory, during the day at least, you're feeding this from the solar that's on top of the chargers to the power wall?
Through the power wall, and then we're net metered.
Okay.
We're still 1-for-1 net metered for whatever we can put back on the grid.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, but with a commercial facility, kilowatt hours are like 2 cents.
Sure, because you really worry about demand charge.
Demand charge, and now they've come up with this new charge, it's an energy charge. And that's a big one. So I'm not real sure. Entergy likes to play with their commercial setup sometimes.
Okay.
And Simon Mann, guys like that, could tell you more about what schedule. I've tried to research our schedule and where that's coming from. And
yeah.
We'll get it all sussed out eventually.
Sure. You're just kind of going with it and figuring it out.
They just try to go rooftop solar in Arkansas, and it's like, well, that's the bigger battery bill, right?
Right.
That's all that is.
Right.
More
Absolutely.
Solar, bigger battery.
That's right. So very interesting. Thanks for showing me around in here. This is just, an absolutely amazing setup here. So yeah, you still got more to show. Let's go check it out. Man, it gets bright in there. Holy smokes.
No doubt.
That is incredible. So do things actually grow faster in this than a farm?
We're still at about when you buy seeds from like Johnny's or whatever, we're still hitting about their growth cycle. So staying on about the same growth cycle is stated on your seeds.
Cool. And just so many EVs around here as well, just kind of scattered.
Gotta have a Model Y.
That's right. That's a staple right now. That is just amazing.
We love these folks in Fremont. We're trying our best to support.
Right. Love to see it. Wow. So this road right here, is it pretty popular? I'm seeing a lot of cars coming by.
There's a lot of traffic through this area. We got with a small business incubator on the front end of this when we were going to make this into a restaurant, just to have them help support. And I think maybe 17.5 or somewhere around there, 17,500 vehicles a day.
Wow.
Woodrow's a pretty good thoroughfare here.
And I have to ask, Little Rock seems like the worst place to put this, only because EV adoption, in my impression, is pretty low.
We're like everybody else. I mean, once it catches on, you got the exponential growth. But before then, absolutely. When you're in a flyover state where everybody drives trucks, they're like, oh, heck no, that's not going to work.
Right, sure. I was just talking to someone at the gas station earlier, and they were like, is that one of those battery trucks? We don't see an exhaust. I'm like, yeah.
Sure is.
It's like normal. Like everyone in my neighborhood has one. Yeah, but I could imagine if you were to replicate this in LA, in Denver, in places that have huge EV adoption.
Would probably be pretty popular right off the bat.
I think so. I think that could be interesting to see what you do in the future.
Hey, we're always trying to figure out the next project because we're not done.
Love it. So now we're in the studio.
This is the art studio where the pottery that you saw next door came from. We have 5 members of this co-op that is run by Heather Harmon here, who's my life partner, baby mama.
Official title.
And then this is Erin House, who is another one of our partners here. Both of these ladies are actually our partners in the farm.
Oh, wow.
So they bring their expertise and their talent to our farm as well.
Amazing. So sorry to put you on YouTube, but I have to ask. So all of the pottery that we saw at the inside the shop, this is all yours then, right?
Yes.
Amazing. And is there a website where folks can buy it?
Not yet. We have woodrowcraft.com as our website, and it is set up, and all we have to do is get our images uploaded.
So images uploaded. We'll make sure it's linked in the video. And
we have Facebook and Instagram, and we're happy to sell anything from those and ship them away.
You should make some EV themed pottery at some point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It could be amazing. Yeah, well, thanks so much for the tour and showing us around. And I don't know anything about pottery, but I'm learning a lot today. So not all of it made it on YouTube, but you can see just a bunch of stuff over here. And what was the original use of this building? Because I'm noticing you have a Tesla inverter and power wall over here.
We have 5 kilowatts of solar on the building, about 3.5 effective, and 1 Powerwall 1 that kind of backs up loads, and I use it to mitigate demand charge again. So here we're kind of off grid most of the year.
Wow.
Except when they run this big kiln, of course.
So you do have a grid connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to have that.
Is that a legal requirement in Arkansas to have a building with a grid connection?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, we have some pretty fiercely independent folks that live in the state.
Right.
I don't know if they could make that legal or not. I'm not quite sure.
Right. May not fly here like it does in Colorado.
Right.
Well, this is just amazing. Cool to see the OG Powerwall 1. Actually, are all the Powerwalls that you have on site Powerwall 1s?
And at our Little Rock location, we have 3 next door. They're Powerwall 1s. We have 1 here that's a Powerwall 1. By the time that we got to our Hot Springs build, we were upgraded to Powerwall 2s.
Very cool. Very cool. Just amazing. So we'll make sure the link to the studios in the video. I just think it's so neat how you kind of have this like half the street all tied together. You also own the house next door. So
Yes, and we're working on the commercial side of that property to try and supplement our operations here.
That's amazing. It's really cool to use the space for multiple income streams. I think that's a way to do it for sure.
History here while we're doing the new stuff next door, right?
Yeah. So what was this place originally used for?
This was an actual car shop.
Oh, cool.
So there were, from what we could tell by the manuals that we found, that looked like really Mercedes and BMW were a lot of the cars that he worked.
So sort of a German classic car, repair shop, if you will. And what a cool place to do it in. Noticing no insulation or anything you were saying, this is not.
Absolutely. In the summer, I get cussed at left and right because even if I put insulation up here, there's no R factor in these old casement windows. This huge bay door that's on the front, it's an exercise of utility to try to keep it cool in the summertime. In the wintertime, though, obviously we have a wood-burning stove that keeps it nice and toasty in here for everybody, and is a fan favorite for sure.
Really cool. So you mentioned there were 5 folks involved with this particular area of the operation, and does each of the ladies, do they have like their own specialty that they work on? Is that how that works?
We have 3 potters.
4 potters.
4 potters, but one of those ladies is a graphic designer as well, does a lot of cardstock, does all kinds of kitschy stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's different. And then Erin, she's over there making stuff right now. She does metal jewelry.
Oh, let's go check in with Erin then. Let's see. Can we bug you? Is that okay? Thank you. So, Erin, how'd you get all roped up into this whole idea?
Well, Heather approached me whenever Jeff bought the building, and I was like super down because I needed a studio space and we all needed to work, so it worked out perfectly.
And what are you working on now? What you got going?
These are going to be earrings, so I soldered the rings and then I'm hammering them to create some hammer texture. And I was going to, actually I've got some settings here for some stones that I was working on. Right before you came in, I just used my torch and I did some more of these little settings, but they're getting clean right now in the citric.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And do you drive an EV yet?
I don't. I would love to. I plan to in the future.
Cool. Nice. Well, you got the chargers right at the studio,
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's
may
perfect
as
setup.
well. Yeah. Well, thanks for the tour. Appreciate it. And we'll make sure all of your stuff is linked in the video so
Thank
everyone
you so much.
can
Really
check it out.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Dude, epic. So, should we nerd out about electricity stuff by the chargers?
Let's do it.
All right, let's walk on out. This door is absolutely incredible. Thank you. Great. There we go. Woodrow Craft. Make sure that makes it in the video. So, thanks for that. So 5G antenna right here. So you got great cell service.
I think that's Verizon on AT&T.
Nice. I love it. Right, and
Bill Gates is going to activate a chip in my head soon, though, and I should be getting great service.
right, great service up direct to brain here. Love that. So, okay, so where are the power walls located here?
Well, it's a little messy right now. I wasn't going to show you on film because I've got a little cleaning up to do, but they're back here behind me.
Okay, it's not that messy. Come on, this is great. So you got the 3 power walls right through there, and then some switch gear.
So these square Ds are both set up for 5 to offer power for the FreeWire, which does not require nearly as much power off the grid as our DC units here, our CP250s.
So having the FreeWire, let's talk business case of charging. We've been alluding to it all episode.
Sure.
We said we're going to say, is it possible to make money from charging?
Sure.
And I think you figured out the short answer is yes.
Very short answer is yes, but with the caveat in time. This is a function of traffic and it's a function of pricing.
So right now, what are you charging per kilowatt hour?
Right now, I'm mixed in Little Rock because I do not want to change my pricing to 35 cents a kilowatt hour until that thing is extremely reliable.
The FreeWire unit. We're waiting on that. And so
Yes.
that's 32 cents per kilowatt hour
That's
right
still
now.
32 cents a kilowatt hour.
What are the ChargePoint units?
Right now, I've got those stuck at 30 in Little Rock.
Okay.
They're 32 in Hot Springs. Your audience is going to see that and say, wow, the guy's cheap, but I've got to go to 35 on all of them in order to make my business case work over time. And so that's our next step, and that will happen before the year's out.
Wow. Okay. So, but still 35 cents per kilowatt hour is cheaper than Electrify America Pass Plus.
Yes.
So that's, even non-member roll up, pay with a card. I think you could easily charge 45, 48 cents a kilowatt hour, especially for the boutique nature. It sounds like you don't want to do that. What's the reason?
I just don't want to get there yet. We don't have this completely open. We don't have all of our operations open and streamlined enough yet where I feel like I need to be charging a premium for our DC fast charging. We pride ourselves on being as reliable as we possibly can be. Also, you talk about Electrify America. We want to Electrify America and immediately think, I'm at least going to get a 150 unit.
Right.
Here you pull up, and again, we have 125 paired, but if you have 2 people on the units, then somebody's going to be pissed because they're only going to be getting 30, 40 kilowatts.
So what is the holdup on offering higher power charging? We've alluded to demand charges a lot. Just at a high level, your per kilowatt hour rate's really cheap, right?
Right.
But can you explain that to our audience, how the demand works roughly?
So in commercial installations, and this isn't just isolated to Entergy, our provider, or Arkansas, or anything like that, they take your peak demand at whatever point you hit that during the month. So however, what's your highest kilowatt?
So that would be everything ripping here, basically.
Right, everything plugged in and going, and they base what's called a demand charge on. So that is a huge hit every month on a bill, which we won't get into dollar amounts because I'm not, I'm sure Entergy already loves me and I don't alienate any further. But then we have the kilowatt hours that we pay for, which are pretty cheap, and we're able to mitigate a little bit of with our solar.
Right.
And then the batteries as well. I'll let those juice down a little bit at night to kind of offset what we're doing in our farm there.
Right.
And then we have another big charge that they just call an energy charge. And from what I can gather, talking to other people that know more than I do, it's an energy delivery charge. And I'm like, well,
okay,
mine ought to be cheaper because
you're right there.
Not the case.
Yeah, really? So, okay, crazy. So they're just finding ways to bill all their commercial customers. It's not like you're billed differently with EV charging.
Presumably I am not. Now, I still can't suss out from my bill what exact schedule I'm on looking at the Public Service Commission's scheduling. I'm still investigating to try and suss out what exactly is my commercial schedule. Because on the front end, obviously, I understood that there was going to be a demand charge associated. I understood I was going to pay for my kilowatt hours. Didn't know anything about this energy delivery charge.
Okay.
That was kind of a surprise.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
But let's say you had the choice to install your dream hardware. You're looking at new sites. You're looking at expanding this one. Where's your head at? What do you like in the market? What do you think you want to put in next?
Again, I love the fact that ChargePoint is integrated software, hardware. Their units are super solid. I love that. If they had an option to do Express Plus that also came with a cabinet with battery backups, to where you could draw constant power off the grid and deliver that kind of energy, would be fantastic. I love everything that FreeWire is doing. They're integrating all that into one package, and they're helping you offset your demand on the grid. Also, in the future, I can pick that unit up, carry it down the road, throw a solar canopy on top of it, a couple batteries, and I could probably run that thing off the grid.
That's probably true.
That would be awesome. That would be, again, another ambition for the future. But again, we're having some snafus with, it looks like software. It looks like software.
Because the concept works, like you mentioned, from providing high power charging but not getting jammed with demand charges. That's your solution right there.
Well, right now, if my demand charge monthly, if I pulled up these 2 ChargePoint units and put 4 of the FreeWire 200 boosts, those 200s on there, my demand charge would be less monthly than it is now with just the 262.5.
Right, and you'd be able to do 200 kilowatts at that point.
I'd have 800 kilowatts installed on site.
Right, so that's just magical when you start getting some batteries in.
Absolutely.
So that is amazing. Love the location. So cool that you're doing this in Arkansas. I can only imagine how huge this can get, over time. I think you're dialing in the first stations.
Organic growth.
I'm not going to push you to go too fast or too crazy, but I'm just, it's so great to see, honestly, a dude who loves electric cars and future tech putting in charging stations.
We're here.
It's next level. Can't thank you enough for being able to do the tour. I didn't tell you ahead of time anything. I was just texted you an hour ago, hey, I'm coming by.
Hey, it's a Monday. I'll be here in a minute.
Yeah. It's amazing, dude. Thank you so much. JT, this was epic. It was so cool meeting the ladies as well. Everyone just seems to be so into this idea. It's a huge benefit to the local community. I hope Little Rock gets more involved and helps promote this and push it farther from their side, because I think Arkansas needs to do a lot for electric mobility. and you're certainly the shining star in the state. So hopefully they recognize that. And this is just so cool. So to the viewers, if you're even coming remotely in the area, come to this one.
Come see us.
And buy some pottery, buy some coffee, get some hats, and at a minimum, just charge here, because every time someone plugs in, you are actually making money, right?
That is correct. We are making revenues every time you plug in.
That is great, and honestly, not possible in all areas of the country.
That's right.
So very cool that you're able to do it. You built it out right. You put the money in, and I know you're going to be hugely successful at this. So congratulations so far. It's so neat, and I can't thank you enough for doing the tour.
Thank you so much, Cal. We appreciate you guys.